Welcome everyone to Let's Talk About It. So I'm just reviewing one of Alicia's live from the other day where, people are asking why did she stay, in the relationship if it was that bad. So yeah, let's talk about it for a second. So people keep saying, right? If it was that bad, why didn't she leave? Alicia Kim, which I've always said that what Alicia Kim is dealing with is post separation abuse. It's a mental abuse, right? And Alicia confirmed that from her life that her ex-husband mentally abused her. And imagine he brought her from Jamaica away from her family, her support system, everything she knew. Then came the control, the threats. He told her he could have her deported. But here's the part people keep missing. She loved him, and that's what makes it complicated. Because abuse doesn't always start with pain. Sometimes it starts with love, with trust, with someone you believed in. So now you're not just scared, you're attached. You're hoping the person you fell for will come back. And when you're isolated, threatened, and emotionally worn down, leaving doesn't feel simple, it feels impossible. She didn't stay because she was weak. She stayed because she was human. So, guys, let's get the discussion going. And if no one told you today, remember you are loved, valued, and appreciated.
If you haven't been in an abusive relationship, then you probably ask yourself all the time, why do they even stay? It's just easy just to leave. What I want to tell you is it's just not that simple. Most people stay in abusive relationships because most abuse, it's not consistent. And on the flip side, I think this is why when somebody leaves an abusive relationship, they get a lot of hate and judgment because from the outside world, most abusers just don't show that they're abusive. They're charming, they're loving, they have great personalities. In some ways, if you're in an abusive relationship, based off of other people's opinions, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. You see, if somebody was cruel all of the time, most likely people would leave much sooner. But abuse, it comes in cycles. There are times when most abusers are attentive, loving, charming, funny. There are times when they promise to change, then they love bomb, they show affection. And in those moments, for the victim, it feels real. And you begin to let your guard down and feel safe again. And your nervous system, it relaxes just enough for you to really actually believe maybe this time it's going to be different, and maybe this time they really are going to change. And then as soon as you lower your guard, their behavior, it comes back again. The criticism, the control, the emotional withdrawal, the explosions, and then the cycle repeats. It's not because you did something wrong, which is what a lot of us feel who are in or have been in abusive relationships, but because inconsistency, it's part of their dynamic. And if you're in this type of relationship, here's what I want you to know. You stayed because you are capable of hope and love and forgiveness. But love, it's not supposed to come in the form of whiplash. You do not need to be hurt in order to feel loved. I know sometimes it doesn't feel like it, but you are enough. You're enough to be chosen consistently, enough to be loved without fear, enough to feel safe without having to constantly prove your worth. You're enough to not stay in environments that only treat you well if it's convenient, and if you have to shrink yourself to not have needs or desires or boundaries. I know if you've come from a life full of abuse, you probably question a lot if you're enough, and I'm here to remind you and to tell you, you are. As soon as you start rewiring your nervous system to believe the same, you won't put up with the inconsistent crap anymore. And I'm here to remind you anytime you need it that you are enough.